and welcome everyone to the Female Founders Talk tonight. Tonight we want to celebrate in our own special way the International Women's Day. 4 female entrepreneurs will share their journey and their startup stories. They will also discuss resources for female founders in creating innovative businesses in the RheinMain region. My name is Lisa and I'm your host tonight. But before we get started, I want to say a big thank you to our organizers for this special event. Frankfurt Valley, Red Bull Basement, Winkel, Virtual Entity, and of course Mindspace for hosting us. Our first speaker is going to be Vera Claas from MentalStark. She studied business administration, gained banking experience at Förderbank NRW, so she has the necessary tools to manage a company. In more than 10 years at the consulting firm LPA, Vera has gained a great deal of expertise in the management of IT projects. She is described as a go-getter person who navigates safely and rises to top form when things get stormy. She is one of the rare female part-time founders. So she's working full-time as sales and product manager at Deutsche Börse. MentalStark is an online platform for everyone who wants a baby and is looking for emotional support. So ladies and gentlemen, Vera.
Thank you, Lisa. When I started preparing for this speech tonight, I thought, what does it take to be an inspiring woman? The first names that popped into my mind are women like Michelle Obama, like Thatcher, Greta Thunberg, or maybe even Lady Gaga. I adore these women, but are they women that inspired me, that made me change my life? Actually, they are not. I think true inspiration comes from the women around us, and I want to talk today about 2 women who inspired me, who truly inspired me without glitz and glamour. The first woman I want to talk about is Lisa. Lisa as well, but not this Lisa. I even don't know her family name. I met her once at a friend's party and we talked for like 10 minutes, and still she somehow managed to change my life. So she was this girl standing in my friend's kitchen corner, holding very tight to her drink, talking to no one, and I thought, let's make some small talk. And when we talked, the first story she told me was she had actually hiked the Annapurna circuit. That's a 260 kilometers hike in the Himalayas. And to me, Annapurna circuit, this epic hike, had always been the dream I did not dare dreaming, because I was this unsporty, rather clumsy couch potato who would definitely not go for such an adventure. But when this girl Lisa explained me how she did it, and she painted this picture for me, this picture of the majestic mountains of the Himalaya, the radiant clearness of the sky, and this brilliant blue that you see nowhere but in the Himalayas, I thought, okay, I have to go there. And I think in that very moment, Lisa saw that was a desire for me. And then what she said, Vera, if I can do it, you can do it. And then on the way home, after that birthday party, I actually started playing around with my phone and started Googling. And the day after, I went to Globetrotters, bought the 60-kilo backpack, and I packed it with a couple of books and milk packages, just something heavy really to feel these 12 kilograms I would have to carry on the Annapurna circuit. And I started walking with this backpack, first in Güntersburg part, which is flat, and then I thought, okay, I'm ready to tackle Feldberg, which is at least, I think, 500 meters of elevation. And as you might imagine, with this 12 kilo on my back, I totally didn't do it. After like not even half the elevation, I was too tired. I didn't have the strength nor the condition. I had to turn around and give up for that day. But only for that day. The weekend thereafter, I went again and again and again. And the day I reached Feldberg with my backpack was the day I booked my flight to Kathmandu. So I actually did it. I walked the entire circuit. I did the 260 kilometers, and I stood on top of Torung La Pass at 5,600 meters of elevation, which is crazy high. And I saw the Himalaya around me, and I was like, it's so worth the struggle. And it really blew my mind. And I'm not just saying this, it did blow my mind. I changed. I am not the clumsy and unsporting couch potato anymore. I am now an outdoor person. So I am outside all the time. I walk, I hike, I cycle, I sleep in a tent, and this is the most the most amazing experience I've ever made. The second woman I want to talk about today is Sally Schultzer. She is my MentalStark co-founder, and she's also a friend of a friend. And there was this one evening where she first told me about her vision to offer psychological aid to women in difficult gynecological treatments. And I thought, that could work as an online platform. I mean, I had built dozens of online platforms in banking before, and providing psychological aid to women who really needed it, that was something I felt in my stomach, okay, that's really something great. We have to do this. And we did. We now have a working technology that is used by over 60 women in difficult fertility treatments. And a couple of days ago, we had the first woman who told us, hey girls, thanks for MentalStark, it's great you're there, but I'm gonna leave you, and you know what? I'm 13 weeks pregnant, and I wouldn't have made it without you. And that was the moment where I felt, okay, this is the right road to take, and I'm gonna stick to this road. So now I'm coming to the end of my speech. What is that, being an inspiring woman? Of course, I still admire Michelle Obama and Meg Thatcher and Greta, I do. But this is not what inspiring means to me. To me, inspiring women are women who become game changers, life changers for others. And I think that's even easier than you might think. I think becoming a game changer can happen the very moment you start talking about your dreams. You start talking of how you actually managed to make these dreams come reality. And if you tell another woman this story and show her that if you can do it, she can do it, that's the moment where you become inspiring. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much, Vera. I am very impressed because when someone asks me the question, who's your role model or who you admire, I've never had an answer, but I think your answer is very good. So I hope that everybody will find a Lisa in their life. But I also got a couple of questions for you. As I mentioned in the beginning, you've got a full-time job. And you also started a journey of a startup. Is it very hard? And what was like the moment when you said, okay, let's do it?
That's a really great question. And so your first question was, is it really hard? And I think I'm lucky with that regard because fortunately Deutsche Börse is really flexible, and for them it's important that the work gets done and they don't mind at what time of the day or whether I'm in Ashford in the office or at my desk at my home office. So that makes it really flexible, and I'm really grateful that they make it happen, to be honest. And then your second question, I think I forgot. Could you repeat?
Like, what was the moment that you said, okay, let's do it with a startup, even if I have a full-time job?
Well, I think there's no this game-changing moment. For me, it was a rather slow development. So Sally and myself become closer and closer, and I got more and more involved with the idea. And then at some point, I thought, okay, actually there's no way back. We are doing this together now.
Okay, great. And where do you see yourself and the startup in 5 years?
Well, I hope that with MentalStark we somehow manage to get the health insurance to reimburse our patients. As you know, we are not only facing women infertility treatments, but also in other difficult gynecological treatments, and it's super important that health insurances step in so that actually women can afford the aid that they do need. So that would be great if we could achieve that. We think that's a pretty big goal, but well, I hope and I think we can make it.
Okay, thank you very much, and I only wish you and your team the best.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, so the next speaker will be Julia Vollendorf from eDon. She's the creative head of the team. She takes care of the corporate strategy, marketing, and the corporation development. She finished her studies in political sciences while simultaneously completing a training program as an asylum counselor for refugees. During her study, she already worked in face-to-face fundraising as well as in marketing for NGOs. Her strength is developing new ideas and getting others excited about them. eDon is a sustainability software for online shops who think about tomorrow today. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's Julia.
Hi everyone, I'm really happy to be here. I'm Julia from eDon. As Lisa just said, I'm the founder of the sustainability agency. We build a plugin that actually makes it possible for you to plant trees and check out while shopping online, offsetting carbon for the products you buy, and also donating for the sustainable development goals. I actually found Vera's talk quite inspiring because I had one of the Lisa's too, who inspired me. I'll talk about her in a second, and maybe also about the moment that you just asked her about. When was the moment where you decided, okay, we're going to do that now? So I'm going to take you on our founding journey. I also call the story The White Rabbit. I'm not sure if everyone knows this rabbit. I think most people do. This is the White Rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. For those people who don't, just a quick recap. Alice is sitting in the garden. She's totally bored by the lesson that her teacher gives her, and she sees this white rabbit in the garden, and she's totally fascinated and wants to follow the white rabbit and tells him to stop. So the white rabbit says, "I'm too late, way too late already," and she follows him towards the rabbit hole. And the rabbit was already gone, and she's like, okay, so now I could actually follow the rabbit. And I think this is the exact moment that we just talked about when, every founder who ever existed, no matter if it's a man or a woman, are still with their bum in the safe space at home and with their nose already in the rabbit hole. And that's exactly the moment I think where also my Lisa stepped in and told me, I did marketing and fundraising for corporates for 15 years in beauty, and your idea is great. Try it. If somebody can make it, then you can make it. So I fell into the rabbit hole. And this is actually the first thing that happens. You're surrounded by all sorts of things, like new co-working spaces, workshops, mentors. You get your first money, maybe you win a prize, and you're totally in awe about the new world you're just entering. And the first thing you do, usually, when you enter the startup world, is you're creating a financial plan and a business plan. This is what you're supposed to do. So that's what we did, and mostly it looked like this, like the hockey stick principle. Most of you might know it. In my experience, this is way closer to the reality. So I'd like to take you on a small trip and give you 3 small insights about our labyrinth journey that I find quite helpful. The first one is the places we conquered and left our traces in. This is just a small, some of the places we worked in, like some co-working spaces and some labs that we were really happy to be part of the community. We also worked in universities from Marburg to Kassel to Frankfurt to Darmstadt, and in every private apartment and flat we could find. These are some of the trade fairs that we visited, from Munich to Frankfurt to Berlin, all about Germany, and also as guests, but also as speakers. 2 weeks ago I was a speaker on the Nexus trade fair for the topic of sustainability in e-commerce from trend to necessity, which was really amazing, and I was really happy to do that. Yeah. The second insight I'd like to share is the companions we met. This is my core team, which I'm totally thankful to have. My co-founder Sarah, who I know from my studies, my co-founder Finn and Johannes were great developers and awesome people. And yeah, we also on our journey in our team had employees, interns, even a company dog, and that's only the core family. And we also had lots of people that we met, like investors, other founding teams, customers, and yeah, it was really, really the time in my life where I met most people, and I would never have expected it. The third thing I'd like to share is ups and downs. So this is our first proof of concept. It's called Content for Climate, and it was sustainability influencer campaign that we did with the Jugend, a big NGO in Germany, and we had almost no donations getting. Why do I tell this? Because I truly believe that speaking honestly about failures and mistakes is extremely important, and not only because you learn a lot from it, but also because I truly believe that you should ask yourself really, really honestly if your white rabbit is worth going through these days. Because if it's not, then you should really think about me. But then there are other days. Today we raised 150k in capital. We have been speakers on events. We have given interviews. We have visited so many events. We really, really had awesome experience all over the place. And this is our second proof of concept. This is the plugin that we built for online shops. This is our first customer, the Vollendorf shop, where you can round up for an pedagogy project for children in emergency situations, which is really amazing. And the second one went way better than we would ever have expected. So people actually want to use it, and really, really a lot of people do. And this is the moment where you're extremely proud of yourself. When you build a product that actually fulfills your dream of doing good, make it really easy and simple, and then you see people want to use it. And the donations come rolling in and you think, yeah, I can actually make an impact. So have we, by now, caught the white rabbit? Not at all, because you never will. Because no matter how far you get, the white rabbit will always be one step ahead of you and tell you that you're way too late for the next step. So I want to give you 3 pieces of advice to go with you on your journey. The first one being, if you listen to the rabbit, you will be stressed out right now for the next 40 years. So I'd like to give you the advice to sometimes take a breath, take a step back, and look at the journey that you already conquered. Because as you can see, this is only 1 year, and it's been amazing. The second piece of advice is expect to get lost, because you totally will. And also, especially when you're lost, choose your own path. Always decide for yourself where you go. Because there will always be 2 people pointing in different directions. And there will also be people who cannot take you taking your own path. So the third piece of advice would be, why should I even leave the garden? Just go ahead. Because if you stay, in 20 years you will give the same boring lessons to the next girl. And if you choose to leave, you will grow way faster than is comfortable for you, and because you just have to, and you will definitely be changed in another person when you get home. But the view along the way is breathtaking. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much. I think now you're my Alice in Wonderland. Great story. So you also talked about like failures or some point. Do you have some points where you were like, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to give up?
No, I don't think so. Not really. There were really difficult situations, also because of COVID-19, for example. We had a financial round that totally blew up because of that. But the things that got me through this were the people on my team, actually, because we always stuck together and we always asked ourselves, do we still want to do this? And the answer was always yes. So, no.
Okay, so is it important to have like a team, or you can also do a one-man show, but should it be like a best friend or like a good constellation? Should we study the same? What is a good team for you?
I think that really depends on your personality too. I do believe that there are founders who can manage to do everything on their own, but for me that was never an option. So from the first day, for me it was clear as day that I would have a team, and I think I was extremely lucky to have an amazing team. For me, a good team is a diverse team that has different backgrounds, different views, because I believe that it is a great asset to have different opinions and to then decide together what is the path that is most promising for everyone.
Okay, nice. And my last question is, what is like your next big goal for eDon?
You could ask that, and I believe the next big goal would be to onboard one of the top 100 online shops, which looks quite promising right now, but yeah, we'll see.
Okay, I will wish you the best. So thank you very much. Our next speaker will be Talina Müller from the Candleporn. She already founded her first company besides her bachelor studies. Currently, she is pursuing her master's degree at the Frankfurt School of Finance and Management. Her startup, the Candleporn, is the sexiest sustainable candle company by selling soy and beeswax candles. She is on a mission to change our world sustainably. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's Talina.
So also a very warm welcome from my side and happy International Women's Day at this point. I would like to start off with a quote or with a number on my slide, and I would like to switch perspectives. You have 364 days in a year to be the best person that you can imagine yourself in. You deserve everything that you want to, reaching from your promotion that you have been waiting for, or the business that you wanted to start. So I just wanted to remind you that we should not make it International Women's Day, but International Women's Decade. Now introducing myself. I'm Talina, and as I got a very good introduction in the beginning, I already started my first business during my bachelor studies. And successfully, I failed. And this was the best thing I could ever do, because I learned so much and I could apply it to the next thing. So currently I'm doing my master's degree and I will be finished next year. But let me introduce you to the Candleporn. And yes, you heard that correctly, it's called Candleporn. And the good thing about it is, I do love the hashtag food porn, and I use it every time when I eat pizza on my personal story, so this is the story behind it. What we actually do, we sell sustainable candles, and we make it sexy. We make it not only sustainable, but also sexy. But let me tell you how I came up with the idea. Because there are many candles out there. I have a really good friend that I met during my bachelor studies, and she actually has an allergic reaction to everything that you can imagine. Reaching from fruits to vegetables to also my scented candles, so always when she actually came up to study, I had to turn off all candles and to lift every fresh air in every room in my apartment. So I really got sick of it. To be honest, I also didn't want to put her into the hospital, so I took actually the pain of lifting everything and putting some fresh air in it. But this actually made me realize that I need to do some research, and I need to understand why she's feeling sick at the particular moment. So when I started researching, I actually figured out that also today, in 2021, most of the candles are actually made out of paraffin. Paraffin is a waste product of the fossil oil industry, and it goes without saying, that it's just not the product that we should be using also in 2021. So it is widely used. It is used in cosmetics, in candles. You can believe that it's been everywhere what you have in your bathroom or in your living room. It's fast, it's cheap, and it's very easily available as it's waste. So I started researching again and I looked for other solutions. So I asked myself, what can we do better? And I actually figured out that there are two pillars that were in my scope. So first of all, there are beeswax candles. But usually they are very smelly, so people don't like the scent. So don't take it, it's also very expensive. The second pillar is vegan candles. So you have soy wax, you have coconut wax, you have a variety of things. However, they do not add any benefit. They are beautiful, they smell good, but it's just a candle. What kept me going is that beeswax is very interesting. Because look at this, when beeswax burns, it releases negative ions. It sounds very chemical, but I will break it down. Let's make an easy example. So when a beeswax candle is burning, there is releasing ion. And this releasing ion, you must imagine as a hand in the air. This hair can actually pick, for instance, dirt or bacteria in the air and neutralize it. So it has an air cleansing function. By combining soy and beeswax, we use both of the advantages while still having a very sustainable and sexy product, which you can see also in the pictures. As I said, Candleporn. To come back to the story, my best friend that I now even call family, she's actually one of the loyal customers that we right now have, and we are very happy to have everyone on board. So last year we started with a very rudimental MVP. We've been developing it over the months, and we can say that we reached the proof of concept phase. And I would like to share something very personal. This is an accent on where we have actually been with our startup, and I would like to pick one. So we have been in RheinMain. It's a quite German magazine, and they have a very large user base. And we have been featured in the print version. I know print is sometimes a thing, we never know if it's keep going, you know, it's some. When I knew that I would be in the magazine, I actually forced everyone, my family, my friends to buy one. And to be honest, I even bought 5. Because I wasn't sure if someone would steal anything from my apartment, I would still have 4 left. So this would be a pretty cool thing. I'm very happy that we had this milestone, and this was something huge for me. And when Philippe asked me to participate here, he also said, maybe you can share something about the entrepreneur's journey. And what I found is that usually they use this illustration. It's about ups and downs, it's about volatility, it's about uncertainty, it's about you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. And I did a little sketch because I think there's something missing. Don't mind the beautifulness, I'm not Picasso and I'm also not aiming to be one, so I included a heart. And let's separate 2 things here. It's very rare that you start your business today and you become a millionaire tomorrow. It's also very rare that you start your business today and you have tons of money. So it's going to be tough. And financial resources probably are one of the main constraints for all startups all over the world. So you need passion and resilience. You need passion and resilience to keep you going in the morning, because money is not going to help you in the first years. So what I would like you to take away, you don't need to remember everything. You don't need to apply everything. I just wish that you just take one. No matter if it's in your personal life, in your corporate life, or in your entrepreneurial journey. Just take one. The first one is fail fast and learn even faster. I told you in the beginning, the best thing that could ever happen to me was failing with my first business. And I failed on several aspects. To be honest, today I even think, how could you do this? This was like a very crazy idea there. Then the next point would be, start today and explain tomorrow. Sometimes it's very difficult to distinguish who is actually draining your energy and who's slowing you down. So the thing is that you really need to focus on what you are doing, and you need to see who is going to lift you up. And sometimes these people are very close that slow you down. So just start doing your things and whatever you want to, and then explain it to them tomorrow. And trust me, most of the people will still keep going and screaming you, so you don't even need to say so. They will apply to your newsletter, don't worry. Then the next one is support each other. This is truly important. This is also why I included my contact email. So if you feel like you have no one to talk to and you don't know any founders in your network, I think that goes for everyone without saying. Just drop us an email. And make sure to have a virtual coffee. You have exactly nothing to lose. And this is also the next point. Get in the inbox of people. We can do a little case scenario here. So we have the base case. If you write an email and you get no response, you're exactly the way as you have been before. You are not worse off, you're not better off. It's just, you keep breathing. Nothing is going to happen. Let's take the next case, the worst case. You write an email, very polite and respectful, and someone just answers you in an insulting way, telling you the audacity to reach out to him. This is insane. But let's take it like that. If you put positive energy into something, and someone gives you, for no reason, negative energy back, then the problem is, of course, on the other side. So I would like to cite my mother here and say, you know, just pray for them. That's what she always says, and that's what I'm going to do. And the best case is, you get a response, you get a long-term relationship where you just get someone where you can talk to when you have questions. So in that sense, happy International Women's Day and decade, and thank you very much.
So, thank you very much, Talina. Very inspiring words and the quotes also. You seem like you're a woman who knows what you want, but was there a point in your life, even in the beginning of a startup, where it was like, what am I doing here? Is it going to be good or not?
So I think the thing about startups is that mostly you actually have no idea what you're doing. Unless you create a unicorn and have like the perfect recipe on how to do it. And it's really difficult to say I'm doing exactly the right thing. So for me, it's especially about learning and experimenting. Of course, I did many things wrong. Looking back, I did so many things wrong, and I'm proud of every one of them. So I think there was no point where I said, wow, I completely failed, or that's not how we are growing. But it's more like learning in each and every step.
Okay, you're talking about like big mistakes or mistakes you made, but are these mistakes even a lesson, and what you learned out of your mistakes?
So this is of course not the fuck up night, right? I would just leave it for then because I still want to participate there. But I can just give like a high level description of, for instance, my first business. So I started out with doing something in fashion, having no idea, not reaching out to anyone, and just putting it out there. And just believing that it would work. I know this is stupid, but still, I learned a lot of things. That's just not how it works. Even though you have a great product, you still need to get it to the people. And the way might be different on how you take it, but I think in the end it's totally worth it for everyone. Also, especially founding during the studies, it's the best thing you can do. Usually you have no children, no car, no house to pay, so it's the best way possible to not have any big risks. So yeah, definitely just do it for everyone.
Okay, that sounds great. And like you've got, I would say, special products, also because of your name. I don't think that like my dad would buy a candle called Candleporn. So do you have a special target group, or do you want to sell to special persons or everyone?
To be honest, in the beginning I thought it would be just something for the Instagrammable generation, so say like younger people. But when I look into the insights, it's very surprising. It's literally everyone. So not your dad, possibly because I didn't see him in the database, but there are definitely people from all ages and from all over Germany, and I'm really impressed on how these people behave, because I didn't expect that. And of course I also didn't have the resources to do huge customer survey, but it's really everyone.
Okay, that sounds very great. And you have a goal that you want to achieve in the next couple of years, or are you just, okay, I'm looking what's going to happen?
I do have a goal, so the ultimate goal is actually to make interior very sustainable but also sexy. And this is what the brand is about, and this is also what all the brands are going to be about. So yeah, stay tuned.
Okay, I will. And I hope everybody else also. So thank you very much for tonight. And last but not least, we got Rebekka Steil from Rootify. She's responsible for all operational matters, and lately she also put her focus on marketing too. She started to give some guidance in the field of financing and ended up as a co-founder, because she got so invested in the topic of offering new approach towards learning language. Rebekka has a finance background, so she got a bachelor's degree in business administration and a master's degree in international business. which was a collaboration between a German and an Argentinian university. She got a passion for South America, and that's also the reason why she wrote her master thesis about the funding of possibilities for startups in Chile and Argentina with focus on crowdfunding. Rootify is connecting culture by going back to the roots. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's Rebekka.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa, for the nice, everything you said is making so much sense because I'm directly starting. As you've heard, I studied in Argentina, and this is where my entrepreneurial journey began. So I really want to take you on my journey and tell you what I learned so far. So everything started in 2019. I went to Argentina and had no connection there, and I was like, I went there and thought, yeah, I'm going to write master thesis with startups there. I don't know anyone, I did not have any contact, and I just went there and thought, okay, maybe it works, maybe it won't. And then I got into this bubble of entrepreneurship, into this bubble of startups in a foreign country, and I really got soaked into it. And this is when my journey started. I talked to 20 founders from both countries, and I really was inspired. It was a time when every morning I woke up and was like, oh my god, I'm so excited because I'm going to meet a new founder of something great. And I was like with so much energy with my roommates at my apartment. Every day we were talking about the startups. We were all like super hyped and thinking about, whoa, what will our startups be like? Because we all were like, okay, at some point we have to start. And this is when I was starting to think about my future too. Not only like, okay, I'm writing my master's thesis now, but okay, what am I going to do? What am I going to change? And what is funny, because we are on a female founder night tonight, and I personally did not have Lisa like Vera did. I personally had, I would say, 5 men who really inspired me and who really shaped my path where I'm going now. And I just want to briefly tell you why all of those were men. I think it's a little bit the culture, and in South America, men are like the risk takers, I would say, and so the majority of the startups I talked to, the founders were men. So this was not something special that there weren't any women. But I didn't feel like this is something weird. It was so normal to me that I didn't realize that there's like maybe a lack of female founders there. But later I'm going to mention that again. But all those men had one thing in common. They had like no resources when they started. They were in countries where there were economic recessions. They had interest rates like 30–40% if they wanted to get a credit. But they all achieved it. They all made it, and they all started something from really minus 30, I would say. And this was when I thought, okay, well, I'm such a privileged person. I studied in different countries. I have so much knowledge. And if I do not make use of it, it's a shame if I would not start something. And so this is where everything started in 2019, and then I got to meet my co-founder, Esan, at a networking event. It was casually, we met. It was nothing special, but we connected because we shared the same vision. And that was to bring people together and really to connect cultures. And this is what made our connection unique at that, I don't know, we met for 10 minutes. And then we get into touch and started with Rootify, and I got into a startup that already existed. I got into an idea that was already created, but I managed to make it my own. And this is what was a little bit different, like the other stories we've heard today, but it made it harder. And it made it, for me personally, it was like, okay, I know what I want to do, but I don't know how to find my place in an organization that's already existing. And this was the first time I realized that there's a difference of being a man or being a woman. Because I saw how men can interact and find their path and find their way, find their place in an organization, in a startup, which has some tech relations, which is an area where most of the founders are men. And then I entered, a blonde woman entering the startup scene, in the tech scene, and now showing, okay, I want to do it, I want to change something. And the first reactions always were, oh, okay, yeah, you are Isan's assistant, you are Isan's new secretary or something? And I was, no, I'm not. I'm the equal, I'm the co-founder, I'm at his side, I'm not behind him. And that was really, really difficult for me to make that statement and make that point that I am here and I have the same motivation and I have the same power, I have the same strength as all those men I have met before, all those men who inspired me to start my journey. I really was so motivated to show it to everyone that I can do it, and it doesn't matter if I'm a woman or if I'm a man. And this is what is my passion, and it's my driver to really tell the story to you, because I think there are many women out there who are thinking about founding something or going into an area which is dominated by men. And it's difficult to be in this area, and there's so many moments when you think, oh my god, I want to give up, I really want to be the secretary now. I really don't want to always be questioned, always be underestimated. And this is when I really found out that I have to speak up. I really have to speak up and tell the story that it's hard, but you can overcome it. And this is why such events like these we have here now, and hearing the stories of all the other founders is so important, to really see that you can do it, and it's possible to do it, and you have to fight for your place. And I personally was a little bit shocked when I look back, when I prepared for the speech. I looked back and thought, okay, wow, we have so many inequalities in entrepreneurship in Germany. And I started in South America and said, okay, maybe it's normal because the culture is a little bit different. But now I'm standing here in Germany, in Frankfurt, and I still don't feel like people see me as an equal co-founder. And this is where something has to change. And this is why I am so happy that everyone here has given me the opportunity to tell the story and to really feel maybe a little bit of my emotion, because I'm very invested into this, and understand what one's perception at the end really means and how much it matters. Because you all see someone on the street or maybe at an event, or I don't know, you always make up your thought about the person. It's normal, it's natural to do it. But really step back and rethink the first impression you had of the person. I think that's something we have to learn, but it's important to do it, to not judge anyone. And I think this is something the entrepreneurial scene really has to learn, to not judge and to not only count on the milestones you achieved, or I don't know, everything you gained, but to look at the person and the character and the motivation. So for me, all that matters is the motivation one has and nothing else. Just if one is so motivated and is burning for something, that's enough to be to believe in someone. This is my personal opinion, and I really hope that more and more people and founders and young women and students take the chances they have, because we all have the chances, we all have the resources, we have the knowledge. But what it takes is courage. And I really want to encourage everyone out there to stand up for the motivation. This is what's my message today. So if you're motivated, go for it, you can do it. And I hope maybe one of us four was your Lisa today, and that you now can really get going and start and always burn for your ideas.
so thank you very much. Also, a very inspiring story. You completely different started in South America. Why South America? Was it like, so okay, it's a cool country, or what was your goal to achieve there? Just master or even the country school?
I chose the master program especially because it was like focused on South America, and I was planning on doing the double degree, so I got a degree in Argentina too. I studied for a year there, and as you already said, South America is my passion, so languages are my passion. The Spanish language is one of the first languages I learned, and for me it was a little bit to come back because I already lived a year in Bolivia before, and it was for me like the opportunity in a lifetime to really have 1 year at this continent, I would say. And yeah, it will definitely not be the last visit I'm going to make.
Yeah, you also said to me before the talk here, I asked, oh, should I do my master in another country? And she said, do it, just do it. Would you say that, especially probably for females, it is important to step out of their comfort zone? That male people are like, okay, she can do it too?
Yeah, definitely. I would say it's good for everyone. It's not only good for females, but it's good for everyone to get a new perspective and to get a new point of view. So as I told, I got this South American or Argentinian perspective on the way of life or on the startup scene, and now came here and I learned so much, or I apply so much every day. Like, you don't have resources, you have really nothing, but you can make it. And this is what I learned over there, that no matter what you have, you can start at some point, or you can use the resources you have. And this was something I really learned in different cultures, because we live in abundance in Germany, and we have everything. We have high Wi-Fi, and we have fast internet. We all have a personal computer. We have everything. So if you want to do something online, it's totally doable. But if you don't have like a stable internet connection, you get creative. And this is what inspires me, to get creative, to get out of your comfort zone, as you said.
So, and you did it. You're the co-founder of Rootify, and you try to connect people over language. Do you have like first achievements where you say, okay, it is working what we are doing?
Yeah, we definitely do. So we did some testing with some people, and we really saw that it's more efficient with our methodology, because you can directly connect at some point. You find that you have something in common. This is so important. If you meet someone and you don't have something in common, it's only small talk and then it's over. And this is the same if you want to get in touch with a new language. You have to find something that you have in common, that you can build on, that you can build a relation, that you really can connect, and you have successfully found that one connection. It's so much easier to go on. And this is what we found out in many studies and with many language learners who showed us, when we told them, please do it like that and don't do it like that, because maybe you've learned it in school, but forget about this and believe in us, it will work. And everybody says, okay, you were right.
Okay, so we will stay tuned, and thank you very much that you enjoyed this here today. So this is now at the end. I thank everyone who participated here tonight, also the audience for watching us. It was very nice, very inspiring. I hope everybody is going to find their Lisa, White Rabbit, or whoever is gonna be. So thank you very much. Have a good night and see you next time. Bye bye.